highest court opened today's session by stressing the urgent and existential threat posed by the climate change as Judge Yuji Iwasawa began reading the court's reasoning, a process expected to last nearly 2 hours. The opinion, while non-binding, is likely to carry heavy legal and political weight. It's the first time the World Court is assessing states' obligations under international law to curb emissions and the consequences for failing to act. Supporters gathered outside chanting for climate justice. Inside, judges were considering two key questions posed by the UN General Assembly. What must countries do under international law to protect the climate, and what are the legal consequences if they fail? Developing nations and small island states have pushed for stronger binding responsibilities, while wealthier countries argue existing treaties like the 2015 Paris Agreement suffice despite continued emissions growth. The court's stance could pave the way for future lawsuits between states, companies, and climate victims, and define inaction as a breach of law rather than just policy. Here's what Yuji Iwasawa, International Court of Justice President, had to say.
Turning to the relevant scientific background, the court notes that the consequences of climate change are severe and far-reaching. They affect both natural ecosystems and human populations. These consequences underscore the urgent and existential threat posed by climate change.
As legal experts warn of a global temperature rise beyond 3 degrees Celsius by century's end, campaigners hope this marks a turning point in enforcing climate accountability. Now we are joined by Desmond Majeku Donmi. He's an environmentalist joining us live from Lagos. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, how likely is that this advisory opinion will lead to increased legal challenges, and what impact might that have on global efforts?
Oh, it will definitely lead to increased efforts and challenges, yeah, simply because we're seeing it everywhere, in all corners of the world. We're seeing the effects of this global warming that is causing climate change, that is giving us this massive flooding because of rain bombs. It's no longer referred to as rainfall in a lot of areas because you have these unprecedented amounts of rain falling. And then in another area, you'll have dry regions, which will now be fuel for forest fires, or you have desertification. It is long overdue, and definitely legal challenges will come against people who are causing this. I mean, for God's sake, that's the reality that we are facing. If I brought a small generator into your studio and turned it on and didn't allow anybody to leave the studio, you know what would happen. And there would certainly be legal challenges against me bringing something into the atmosphere that could actually terminate everybody. So yes, we shall definitely be seeing some very strong legal challenges against the polluters, against people who are wrecking our environment, which, by the way, is our life support system.
Yes, indeed. And Desmond, now, given that advisory opinion is non-binding, what do you believe will be the actual political and legal weight of this opinion?
That's a very good insight. Yes, non-binding. It's up to us and with wonderful organizations like yours who disseminates information. We just need to put pressure on the political systems, on the corporate systems, that it's enough. Because right now, it's really bad, certain bad weather conditions. If we allow this to continue much longer, the type of catastrophic consequences will be unimaginable. It'll be like being in a nightmare that you can't wake up from because it's real. We don't have to bring this onto ourselves. So we, as just, people, regular people in different countries all over the world, we've got to come together with one voice and say, enough is enough. We must put people ahead of profit. We must put the planet ahead of profit and demand that legal challenges shall be brought against the polluters. It's the beginning of a process, but it needs to move very, very quickly, long overdue, but very, very welcome indeed. We as citizens of this wonderful planet, our only home, by the way, need to come together, bury our differences, and make sure that we don't allow this negative karma to continue to build up against ourselves.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Desmond Meje Kudunmi, for joining